Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Hello, everyone who's probably not here, but hi if you are. My headphones. This is going to be chaotic. My headphones are falling out already. So our co-host for Books and Me's first ever live show is India from What India Read. No one's watching. Yay! I've got the little eye thing up at the corner. Like no one's here.
I wonder.
I feel like I should go public.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no, there is one. Okay, there are people. Okay, this is coming in. I feel like it's just a little bit delayed. So, oh my god, this is going to be chaotic. So to the one person that's here, hi. If all goes to fail, we will go public with the link, and hopefully more people can notice that we're live because we're having a bit of issues. But it's fine. We're here to discuss Billy and Me by Giovanna Fletcher, which was, I feel like I have no idea what to say, which was a book club pick for my book club of July. Obviously, if you're here, you know that. But I just feel like, oh, okay, I don't. What? Anyway, I gave it 5 stars. I'm just going to go straight into it. I gave it 5 stars down to nostalgic value because it's the book that got me into reading. So it's just kind of an easy 5-star book for me. But what are your overall thoughts and what was your star rating?
So I gave it 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Obviously. And I think
it could be out of 10.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're different over here. Oh, hello.
Exactly. Hello.
The first half, I think, was a 4, I'd say.
Yeah.
But then in the second half, Sophie just really annoyed me.
Yeah.
So I really
get that.
With it. And I didn't like how everything was sorted, like how the happy ending came about.
Yeah.
Because I felt like there was no, what's the word I'm looking for? Like there was no sacrifice on her part. Like he basically just gave up everything for her and said, "Yeah, you're right." And I was like, "Is she though?" Like,
yeah,
I don't know if she was right. Like she knew what she was getting into when she got into a relationship with an actor. So I don't know.
No, it is tricky, and the more I read it, obviously, the more I realise the errors that are in it.
Mm-hmm.
And every time someone was like giving their thoughts and stuff on Discord and like what you're saying now, like I 100% agree with, but I would feel sick to my stomach if I gave this book any less than 5 stars.
Yeah.
But it's not perfect. Like I understand that. It's literally just a nostalgic value for me that got 5 stars because I think otherwise I probably, if I was reading this book brand new this time around, like everyone else was reading it for the first time, I probably would have given it 3 stars.
Right. Okay.
Because it isn't the most amazing book. And I understand that now. It's just it's like my baby. It's like, it's the only book that I've broken the spine on, or apart from A Little Life, but we don't discuss that. Like, I remember reading this in my garden, like on like a deck chair, like properly, like reading it like this because I thought going like this I was like a cool person. So I completely just broke the spine. It was like the first physical book, like second physical book I ever read, and I was just like, right, I'm gonna be really cool. I'm gonna like everyone flips their books like this. I'm gonna be really cool.
Love it.
Yeah, but no, it's fine.
I feel like there's books that I feel that way about. Like I feel like if I was to reread certain Jacqueline Wilson books, because they were what got me into reading, they were like my whole childhood, I feel like I could reread them now and I'd still like just have a love for them because they were the books I read when I was young. So
no, exactly. I am actually going to put this live, or like live as in public on. I don't know if it's actually going to work, because if I change it, will it actually, do you know what I mean? If I change it on like a different tab, I don't know if it's going to mess up the actual live. It's currently saved. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see if it comes up on like my subscription box.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I have put it live onto my channel. Okay. So maybe more people will join because we literally just have Leandra. So hi, Leandra. I appreciate you being here.
We love you.
Gave it 4 stars. I would agree with that. With what I loved seeing your updates in the Discord chat because you were constantly updating everyone, and it was very fun to find out. But yeah, I do agree that the first half of the book is a lot stronger. It's like she didn't know kind of where to go.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I absolutely love the premise of the book, like the whole idea of like her being whisked away into this lifestyle and trying to like deal with this lifestyle that she's not used to, and also like 100% get like the insecurity. Like I would struggle. I don't think I could get into a relationship with a Hollywood actor.
I
Because
think the reason I love it so much, is because I've dated an actor in the past. Like my ex-boyfriend was like a wannabe actor. Like he did plays and he did like some extra like roles and stuff. Like he was extra in shows and stuff. And before getting into my current relationship, I was a very, very anxious kind of other half of a relationship. I would always get so anxious. And I think it's because my first boyfriend cheated on me a lot. And then I went into a relationship with an actor. So then that obviously like all the thoughts that Sophie had, I used to have. And I think that's kind of why I connect to Sophie way more than I think a lot of people might have done because of my past experiences. So I'm just like, I don't feel like I was like wrong in thinking those things because like Sophie thought those things too.
Yeah, so. No, 100% get that. I think I really related to her at the beginning as well when she was talking about how like when she was a child, she was so like bubbly, confident, like full of fun. And then when it came to high school, she was completely introverted. And like before you knew why all that was, I totally related to that because I was the same. Like when I was a child, like in primary school, I was like popular, fun, confident. And then when I got to high school, I just totally like went into a little shell.
I was the exact same. So yeah, I do think Sophie is a very relatable character at the the first half of the book. And just as a pre-warn, if people didn't know, it is Giovanna's like debut novel. So if you read, like Joe has said, just finish the sequel may have been written better. I've never actually reread the sequel, so I can't relate to that. Maybe I should reread the sequel if I can get around to it this month and kind of see if her writing's got better. But this is going to be, I was going to do like a spoiler, like non-spoiler and then spoiler, but because I feel like everyone here has just read the book, I'm just going to go straight into spoilers. So is there anything you kind of want to heavily focus on, or do you just want to kind of like go step by step throughout the book, like talk about the plot in depth?
Yeah.
Or do you want to like talk about Paul? Or do you want to talk about Billy's actions? Or do you talk about Molly?
Oh my god. So many
when
thoughts.
You said if she dies, I'm going to like, I was like, no, she's fine.
I knew it. When I said that, you're like, no, she's fine. No, I just really love her as a character. I was like, she's going to die. I just knew it.
Yeah. It's like, it was such a shock when I first read it, though. I love Molly. I think she is the strongest character in the book. Like, because I was tabbing it up this time round when I was reading it.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I tabbed a few about Billy. Because I literally, all I did, there should be some anger tabs in here, but I was like, I'm just going to keep it the tabs that I like.
Okay.
So a few of the tabs at the beginning were about Billy and Sophie, but as I got further and further along, all the tabs were about Sophie and Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think your relationship so much.
Yeah, it's
like
so
it kind of reminded me of Looking for Eliza, because that's another one where it's like a young girl with a strong friendship with like an older woman. I just love reading about that. I don't know why. I just really love that idea and like the things that you can learn from each other and like how you can be so close despite such a huge age gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so well done.
Yeah, no, it is so well done. Just gonna go through some comments. We have Helen. Hello. We've got Paige. Oh, okay, just got a notification at 5 past. I think that's because I'm just going to have them live on my channel. I don't think the unlisted worked, which is a shame. But I tried to make it exclusive, guys, but it didn't work. Hi, Joe. I postponed this book so much. So yesterday I was like, I have to read it. And I read it in one sitting. Yeah, it's such a quick read.
Done that as well. I feel like you get swept up in it as well. Like, I wanted to know what was going to happen next. I was just like...
Yeah. And like it looks like a big book, but the text in the margins are huge.
Yeah,
100%. Like in my edition anyway. Like the text is massive, and there's not very many pages, words per page.
And I feel like whenever you had like a memory that was in italics, when it then switched back to the normal font, I was like, "Whoa, that's big!" Like I just totally noticed the difference. Like literally. When I went back.
No, 100% agree. Hi, Rosie. Molly is the sweetest person. I feel like out of everyone who had to die, it could have been Paul.
Paul could have easily died, but then nobody would have cared. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, true. Everyone would have just cheered.
Yeah, exactly. So I absolutely adored Molly, but there was one line in the whole book that really annoyed me. It's just another reason like my rating went down, because I feel like, wait, let me find it. It's one of those things where like something really offensive is said, but then I don't feel like the author challenged it enough. And I always think it's fine to put things like that in, as long as you're gonna like actually discuss it.
And make like a conclusion to it, like a resolution.
Where is it? I know
I'm
it's
intrigued.
On, like, 60 something. Where is it? Oh, maybe it's not.
Oh, the suspense.
Where is it? I know.
What part of the book was it?
So I think it's when Molly and Sophie's mum, come to London for the first time to visit
and
them.
They go for the picnic.
Yes. But it's when they first meet. Oh my god, this is so annoying. I actually had like a note of when it was, but now I've lost it.
I feel like it's quite early in the beginning.
Is it? Is that what it is?
God, I don't know.
Oh, I can't remember what it was, but I can't remember what it was, but I'll basically tell you the gist of it. So when they comment on the fact that she's lost quite a lot of weight and she's quite skinny, and obviously she says that partly because like she's not been doing all that baking and eating all the cakes, but obviously also she's having a hard time.
Yeah.
And then Molly says something along the lines of, men like their women to have curves, which first of all, I didn't like that. And then she says, then you'll look like a boy, and if boys are going to fancy that, then they're just wrong in the head. And I was like, so that's kind of homophobic and sexist in one quote. So I was like, and then I think afterwards Billy just laughs, and I think it says Billy laughs at this inappropriate and something comment, and then that's it. Like they don't challenge it any more than that. And I think she's kind of going off the idea of like, oh, she's from an older generation, like she doesn't understand what she's saying, sort of thing. But like, I just feel like it could have been challenged.
That's more. No excuse.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to go in depth and
I need to find it and
actually read. Yeah. If anyone knows what section India's speaking about, let us know what page number it is so we can.
In my deleted notes.
Discuss
because I did pinpoint it.
Discuss it further. That's so good though, Joe. I'm glad. That's what I wanted from my book club, was to have books that people may not have known about, because it was so fun. Although it was nerve-wracking at the same time, everyone reading like the book that got me into reading, like it has such a special place in my heart that I was so scared that it wasn't going to kind of like be a lot of people's like cup of tea. Yeah. So to hear that she's now someone's new autobiography author makes me very, very happy. And just to let you know, she does have a new book coming out November 11th, and that is going to be November's book club pick for this book club. So Joe, you might want to participate in November.
I definitely want to read more of her books.
Yeah, I just think her book's going to keep getting better, because I do think Some Kind of Wonderful is really good, which is her book, her most recent book, even though it came out in 2017. I do think that's the best book. But I just can't believe it's been so long. I know. And the fact that like during lockdown, her computer completely wiped and she lost all her words. She lost like 12,000 words of the book that's coming out in November. They managed to restore it and get all her words back. But like for 2 weeks, her laptop was with like Apple and like the Mac team. And they were like trying to get her words back. And I would be like,
oh my God, the stress. Oh my God, I just cried. I would cry.
Yeah. It'd be so scary. Hello. Haven't got a coffee with you. No worries, Rosie. I appreciate it. I can completely understand that fact that, because I do think the world, and especially the world of books and literature, has adapted and changed and become better so much over the last like couple of years or so.
Yeah.
A book written in 2013, I think we discussed, Billy and Me, was written. It can get outdated really quickly because people are just expecting so much more like diversity and discussion, like more kind of prominent discussions in books now, whereas they weren't when I feel like this book was published, sort of thing. So I completely understand that people wouldn't see kind of the appeal to Billy and Me and like books, because I don't want to reread some of my favorite books because I'm scared that my like love for it is going to like dwindle a little bit.
Yeah.
So I completely see.
Like I said,
with fresh eyes, I don't think Billy and Me would be 5 stars.
Yeah. I think I'd like to write it again, because I really like the idea of it and like the main storyline. I really like to see how it could be written, because I agree with the word potential. I feel like when I was reading it, I like, this has the potential to be a 4 or 5 star book, but it never quite hit it for me. So
yeah, no, exactly. No, I completely agree. I thought you frozen then. I was like,
oh no,
don't leave me.
Just really still.
Yeah.
Oh. She was a wee brat when she was young, by the way. I was like,
yeah.
Jesus.
I don't want to say like I feel like it's an only child trait because I don't want to offend anyone in the chat if you're like only children, but I do feel like I don't know what I was gonna go, but I do feel like maybe she would have got spoiled a bit more because she was their like pride and joy in that regard. But I don't like I understand the catalyst of why Sophie's father wasn't in the picture. Like I understand that because it made Sophie more closed off. It made her mum go through the things that she went through and made Sophie want to stay. And therefore, when Billy did come into her life, she was so undecided on whether she was going to go move to London or not. Yeah. But also, I feel like the book didn't need... I don't know if it needed the flashbacks.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Because, like, yeah, it was really sad, but you don't have any connection to her dad because...
Yeah.
The dad wasn't written as a present figure, so therefore you had like your heart didn't break for Sophie or her mum. I don't know. That's just
I guess like format wise though, it was quite good. Like the way at first you just got little snippets as if she was like remember things and then trying to close it off again, and then you wouldn't hear about it for a while, and then you finally get the full picture when she's opening up to Billy.
True,
so I think in that respect, that was
done well.
Done. Yeah. But I know what you mean. Yeah, was it completely necessary?
Sorry.
I think when sorry.
Yeah, you go.
No, just say when I was starting it, when she has her first panic attack, when was it Billy grabs her by the arms or something, and then she has a panic attack. I thought the darker aspect, I thought it was going to be like assault or something like that, and I thought it was going to have something to do with her dad in that way. So like I was reading into all this stuff, and I was like, oh wait, no, it's not at all. It's completely different.
You're too used to thrillers.
I know, literally.
No, what I was gonna say is like not necessary. Like the point of being not necessary character. I was gonna move on to Paul and start discussing Paul's kind of position in the story.
Mm-hmm. Page 1.
I found a comment 164.
Oh, look, I was looking at 64, not 164. That's 164. My problem. There it is. So, men like their curves, madam, says Molly, shaking her head at me. If they wanted to be with someone with the body of a boy, then they'd have something wrong with them in the head. So
I feel like I've got different copy.
Oh.
Guys, I'm fine. I'm just busy not eating as much blooming cake as I used to. And then...
Oh, yeah, where's that?
How far away is that from that?
Oh, it's just before that. It's like 3 paragraphs.
Oh, just before. Oh, yeah, I've got it. Yeah, okay.
And then it's just like Billy laughs at Molly's inappropriate and extremely unpolitically correct comment, and then that's it. I don't know, like
So G knew that was obviously not the correct kind of like she knew Molly was incorrect in saying that, because she wanted Molly maybe to act like or like seem like the older generation's kind of stereotypical views, I guess.
Yeah.
But then if she was to say that, like you said, she should address it more.
Yeah, and I feel like you said, if that was written now, it'd be written very differently. That scene, I think it would go further into depth of like what's wrong with that and why we shouldn't say that and the stereotypes.
No, exactly.
So yeah.
No, 100% agree. To be honest, I feel like I'm so numb to this book now that I'm not saying I can't see the flaws, but I can. But like, I feel like because it's such an easy read, and I just remember loving it, I don't read it critically, which I think is why it was so interesting to have this as my first pick for my book club, because I've got so many fresh eyes on it that I'm getting so many like different perspectives and thoughts and like opinions and all the errors and stuff that may occur. That's like with fresh eyes, which is actually really interesting.
At least it's interesting and not.
I'm grateful for everyone for reading it.
Yeah.
No, exactly. It is, because like the book was written almost like 8 years ago. Yeah, because we're in 2021. So.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't when you say like 2013, you're like, oh yeah, it was a few years ago.
God, it makes you feel old, doesn't it?
Mental. But yeah, it really does. It really does. But Paul he didn't need to be there.
Yeah, 100% agree. Like, I understand what she was trying to get across with him, but I don't think she needed to use him to get those points across, if you know what I mean. Like, he was obviously just used to, like, feed into all of her insecurities and, like, pop all these, like, ideas in her head.
But she could have used, like, Billy's actions to feed into her own, like, thoughts.
Yeah.
Because the scene with Billy on the sofa when you messaged me being like, oh my God, what's Billy doing? That could easily be the catalyst of what then Sophie got paranoid about. She didn't need Paul's comments to be the catalyst of that.
Yeah, and also him working with his ex-girlfriend, that as well was enough. Like, and the sort of like comments in media and stuff as well, that was all enough. Like, I agree. I just don't think Paul was necessary at all.
Or he could have been like, he could have had a really dynamic role. He could have been written really well in the fact that he's had some issues in the past, and that's feeding into his paranoia with needing Billy to succeed and therefore trying to dampen Sophie's limelight sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you got like Paul's backstory into why he was behaving that way. So he could have been a really dynamic two-sided character. Yeah,
because he was a very two-dimensional character, wasn't he? Like, he just popped up every now and again to feed into her insecurities. That was all that he did. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Me too.
Yes, that would have been really good.
Yeah. That was one of the things as well that I was going to say, that I said in my vlog, is that in the first half of the book, I was really loving the lack of miscommunication. Like, you don't see a lot of contemporaries where they just like wipe out any arguments before they start and any miscommunication. There was a couple of potential scenes for it. Like, I'm sure she said something weird and he ran out of the cafe, but she ran after him and like sorted it right there and then. And that doesn't usually happen. Like, usually the miscommunication is what's wrong with the romance. But then the second half, when they moved, well, not even the second half, like the second 3/4 or so, when they moved to London and all these things started happening and that it all broke down. But I get why. Like, I get, obviously he's like having the time of his life and she doesn't want to like feed into the sort of like jealous girlfriend.
So she keeps it all hidden.
Yeah. But it was so annoying. Every time, like, he was like, oh, Paul's so nice, Paul did this. I was like, just tell him.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because it could have easily been resolved, couldn't it, with Sophie confronting Billy to then Billy to confront Paul. But unfortunately, that was not the case. No.
Or you could even have had, like, a really annoying scene where she tells Billy about Paul and Billy doesn't believe her, and then something happens to make him realise. I don't know. But I just feel like it could have been, like, actually brought up between them. But yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it could have caused quite an interesting discussion in...
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like if, like you said earlier on, if G rewrote this now, what her perspective of it would have been.
Yeah.
It would have been really interesting.
I think it'd be really interesting, to see how she'd write it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was frustrating. Paul is definitely the most like frustrating character in the book. But I feel like I don't want to reread it like a month later, but I feel like with like fresh eyes now, I need to reread it and tab all like the green and like the anger things, because I think it would be 50-50 in colours of tabs.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I think it would be.
And most of those tabs would be Paul.
Yeah, literally. Most of the pink tabs are Molly.
Yeah.
G should write a spin-off focusing on Molly's life.
Oh, yeah.
That would be so cute. But I just kind of want like a show of hands with who cried at the book before we get into Molly's kind of story.
I didn't.
Did you cry?
But I'm really it takes a lot for a book to make me cry. I think when I watch TV and films, I cry at everything. But there are only a few books that I've cried at. I don't know what it is about me. I'm just cold-hearted when it comes to books.
Yeah, no, exactly. I feel like I've been crying more recently at a lot more books, and I didn't cry at my reread of this because I reread this twice now. And I cried at my reread last year, and I cried the first time I read it. But I didn't cry this year, and I don't know whether like I was like, oh, of course I'm gonna cry. I've cried at it twice before. Like, why wouldn't I cry this year? But I didn't cry, and I don't know whether I'm like numb to the book now. I know like I'm too well into it now to know what's going to happen and how it's happening.
I feel like the shock of it the first time as well would have made it more emotional though.
Yeah, because it's just out of the blue, because Molly keeps it quite enclosed. I wasn't really a fan of how the topic of Billy supposedly cheating on Sophie when his ex set up the paparazzi. She didn't see how it wasn't Billy's fault the ex-girlfriend did all of that.
This is the point where Sophie just really started to annoy me, because all of that, and then she like when she goes to watch them film the sex scene, and then she kicks off because they are filming a sex scene. I was like, well, don't go if you don't want to see it.
Yeah, and literally.
And then she runs off and thinks she's in the right, and I just don't think she ever takes any accountability for the fact that some of that is her own insecurities and things that she needs to deal with. Like, I'm not saying it's not difficult, I couldn't do it, but
it is. I would never go and watch that if I had a boyfriend doing that sort of career. But then I understand where Billy's coming from in the fact that he wants her to feel included. So maybe she didn't get insecure. So it's kind of like a really 50-50 where they were kind of both in the wrong.
Yeah.
I believe. Like, there is a step too far when it comes to sex scenes in movies, I guess. If you're filming, I've never seen a behind the scenes of filming a sex scene before. So I don't have any experience in that. But I feel like maybe the director was taking it a bit too far, and therefore Billy should maybe have said something to ease Sophie's mind, but then Sophie just runs off and makes it about her anyway, when really Billy was also uncomfortable in the situation.
And it was also his job, and like, you can't really say too much to the director of this big movie that you're starring in. Like, you kind of just, I'm assuming you kind of have to go along with it. And like, I think the whole, obviously, like, it would be horrible to see and you would want to see it, but he's not gonna like bring his girlfriend to the set and then kick off at the director in front of everyone, and like that. What's that going to do to his reputation? Sort of thing? Like,
no, exactly. No, I get that.
She was just very me about it, wasn't she?
Yeah, like you said, didn't really take accountability for the actions that she did do.
Yeah.
Reminded me of Kathy and Chandler.
Oh my god,
when nothing actually happened, and then they pretend that something's happened, and then nothing's actually happened. But then when you go and try and resolve it, something's actually happened.
There was no heat. Is that what you said?
No, exactly. No, there's such always like when there's no tension, that's when you know that they're having sex off stage or something like that.
She's like, so let me get this straight. You're accusing me of cheating, and you're criticizing my performance.
Yeah, literally. But he was uncomfortable, but because they said he had to do more, he did it. I just wanted him to say out loud what his opinion was. Yeah, I feel like Billy was very much led by Paul as well.
Yeah.
Like, because I guess he was new to showbiz, Paul had the experience, so Billy was kind of thinking, because it was like his first kind of proper limelight show.
Yeah,
he was going with what he thought was maybe correct, and maybe he also needs to learn some lessons, but then he didn't. He wasn't written to learn any like lessons in the acting world, possibly.
I did think though, like, she goes on a lot about how once he starts doing well, he completely changes and becomes a different person. And I was like, I don't really think he's changed that much. Like, he's staying out a bit more, but like, he's still the same person, and he's still like very caring, and like, I know he does quite a few selfish things. But he's still, I don't know. I just think like the way she described it was as if he'd like completely changed and had no cares for her whatsoever. When I didn't really feel like that was the case. But
I think like you're naturally going to see a change in your dynamic of your relationship when you move in with each other. When you move, sorry, that was my tablet alarm. When you when you move to a different location, your whole routine's out of whack. I did enjoy the fact that Sophie wanted to be still independent in the fact that she got the job at the coffee shop. Wow, my language there is not the best. I enjoyed that aspect. I think Sophie held herself then, but I think the turning point in the book was when Billy came home and the sofa scene happened.
Yeah,
because that was the play, and the movie was after the play.
Yeah,
is that correct? I think that. Yeah.
Because that would
make sense.
That was the moment where I was really angry with him, because first of all, like knowing that she's got to be up for work in a few hours and bringing a load of people back to the flat and them all like being noisy, that angered me. And then when she goes through and like the girl's like lying in his lap, and he doesn't even have the decency to like move when she comes in as well. Like, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. He just thinks it's normal. I was like,
yeah,
some girl was like draped all over Brandon. I would not be happy.
I know, literally. And in fact, like, I would hate it if Mark came home and I was meant to get up early in the morning. He came home with like a rowdy group of friends.
And
like,
then he also says,
I know it's
like,
your flat and he's just living there, but
he's also like, oh, like you're so boring or something because she wants to stay in bed because she's got work in a few hours. I was like, no.
Yeah, it's like, it's where like the introvert extrovert kind of head clashing in relationships happens.
Yeah,
because I've had kind of a lot of those in the past, because I used to always date extroverted people, and now I've just learned that I prefer to date introverted people.
Yeah.
So I used to clash heads a lot in the fact that they used to always go out and I was always stuck in being like, well, what do you want me to do? I don't want to go out. Like,
yeah.
So I feel like I just have that connection with Sophie being like, I just feel you so much in the exact position you were in. So
yeah, because you didn't have to go out. Like, I wouldn't have been going out if I had work the next morning.
No, exactly.
And also it'd be like, I think that'd be so difficult being an introverted person and like going out with all these people who all already know each other, and then you just being like, hi, I'm
trying to slot in. Yeah. I would feel like such a lemon.
Yeah. Literally.
What do I do?
Especially if you're sitting there and like they are like quite flirty with each other. Like, I don't want to sit there and watch that and just feel like a lemon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
It made me wonder how much Sophie's feelings G must have experienced as a partner in someone in a boy band.
Is it the author's note where she says something about that? And I think she said, like, when she first started the book, she was speaking from experience, and then as it went on, like, she just sort of went with the story.
No, I have never read that before. I don't even have an author's note in. Is it the Q&A? Have you got a Q&A with G? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's in the first question, because the question is, what made you decide to write about this subject? Did you draw from your own experiences? Yeah. And then she goes, yes, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't inspired by my own experiences at first. And that was only when I started and all had a life of its own after the initial ideas.
Yeah.
Got you.
Because I bet, especially, we were someone in a boy band, that all of these young women and men probably were throwing themselves at. Literally. I don't know if I could handle that. I really don't.
And the fact that Tom and G have known each other since they're 13, and they've literally like grown up together. Yeah, they went to the same school, and they sat together next to each other in assembly because they're Fletcher and Fletcher. No, Giovanna Fletcher. What was her maiden name? Something beginning with F and then I. So I think that alphabetically they sat next to each other because she's Italian. So her surname begins with F, and I'm pretty sure the second initial is I. And I think they had, due to alphabetical like ordering, they sat next to each other in assembly, and they became friends because they sat next to each other in assembly. And that was where he proposed to her, was in the same assembly hall, in the same spot where they used to sit every morning for assembly.
That's so cute.
I know. But yeah, it's because they have the same kind of similar surnames in the fact that they both begin with F.
Falcone or Falcone? Oh.
Yes. I-E. Yeah.
A.
Ignore me. I'm like, how does it work alphabetically? Because Fletcher is FL. But so this must have no one in between them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got you. I know, they're so cute.
That's
Paige
so
cried.
Oh my god, that must have been so hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul to be confronted. I didn't cry. Also nicknamed Paul the Pain.
Paul the Pain.
That just, when I read that, it reminded me of Trace Beaker with Elaine the Pain.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
Brilliant.
Those were the days. Yeah. I understand why she didn't, and I understand that would have been difficult, but oh my god, I've just completely lost my train of thought. It was just really, really annoying. And I think like you said, like to begin with, she wanted to be really independent. But the more all that was happening, the more she like came into herself. And then when she left her job, like she shouldn't have been in that job anyway because it was horrible and it wasn't making her happy.
Yeah.
But then to then just be like traipsing around his apartment all day waiting for him to come back from work, like
she should have done something.
Yeah, because like in any relationship, you both need to like have your own lives, I think, and your own like passions and stuff. But especially with that, with him being away doing that all day and her just sitting around waiting for him and baking for him to come home and
like I understand why she's closed off to a lot because of her past. Obviously, as you go through the book, you learn that she's had panic attacks due to her father's death, and she feels like that's her fault because she needed marshmallows for her hot chocolate, and all that sort of stuff. And it was also a freak accident, and the fact that she stayed in a very small town to help her mum, and so you kind of understand the reason why she stayed in her shell for so long, and that London would be such a drastic change for her, I guess, in routine. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
I think with that as well, though, like it obviously would have been difficult for her to go out and get her own life and meet new people and make new friends.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that might be where you were going.
I was like, where was I going? No. But no, exactly. But she needed to try, I guess. Yeah. Because I feel like the book is very much written in the Sophie does no wrong kind of POV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, and I think that's one of the things that annoyed me, because a lot of things she was doing were really annoying me, and I was like, she's never having to take any accountability for like what she's doing, and like even I don't know, like she's allowed to feel that way, but I don't think it means that she should just like stamp her foot and get everything she wants.
No, that's actually it. I didn't cry, but I don't tend to cry at books. I thought the Molly passing bit at the end was a bit rushed. Yeah, I get that. Obviously, because Molly kept it closed off that she was suffering with cancer. Yeah. I guess it would have to have been sprung upon not only the reader, but also the characters. And I did, because obviously I knew that was happening the third time around reading it. I did kind of notice a few sprinklings of foreshadowing in the text further forward that I don't think many people would have picked up in. Like, I can't remember the exact things, but I remember thinking twice, oh, this could have been like the fact that like her mum maybe mentioned that Molly was tired and she'd taken a few days out, like she'd shut the shop for a little bit as like a break. That was one of the points, and I was like, oh, maybe that's kind of a little bit of foreshadowing that she's not really coping very well. I don't know whether that was intentional foreshadowing or whether it just kind of panned out that way, but I do think there's a little bit of sprinkling in there thinking that there might be something wrong with Molly. But yeah, I do think go on, carry on. No, you go.
I think as well, like she talks a lot about just sort of like living life to the fullest and like taking all these opportunities, and like I think when you realize that she's gonna die, that makes a lot more sense as well. Like obviously that's a good like
mantra to have,
but it makes more sense that she was very like passionate about it, and especially very passionate about making sure Sophie does that, as if she was like wanting to like leave her in good stead before she goes.
No, definitely. No, 100% agree with that. Also, I cried at Molly and got teary-eyed when Sophie had the flashbacks of the anxiety during school, or something I sadly related to. Yeah, I do think Sophie, in a lot of aspects, is relatable to a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of how she grew up and being introverted, and the fact that there was one quote in particular, like on like the third page, was like, books were like her friends. Something along the lines of that. Like, obviously she likes reading, she's a bookworm. All of us are clearly in the same sort of boat as her. Maybe you've had the same sort of experiences growing up, not having many friends, but using books as like company. So on that kind of front, Sophie is very relatable in that aspect.
100%.
I didn't cry either, but I think that's because I was reading in English. If I read in Dutch, I'd dive deeper into the feelings, etc. That's fair enough. I appreciate you reading it in English. I hope it wasn't too hard to follow. But you sounded like you got the main gist of it because your updates were brilliant. I loved your updates on this thing. Down that comment. I'm a bit behind on comments. Okay, we've done that bit. Yeah. It's definitely two-sided in the fact that they both did things wrong in their relationship. But it was the fact of the way Giovanna wrote it, and the fact that Sophie didn't do any wrong, because you can see the wrong as a reader. Yeah. It just wasn't confronted as a writer. I guess that's the kind of the best way to
Yeah, because I think that was like the thing that annoyed me most about the ending, was because she literally just got everything handed to her, and it was like, yeah, you're right, like all of what you've done is right, and here you go, like Billy will just give up everything for you so that you can be happy. And I was like,
and you
what?
can have the shop, and you can do this, and you can live happily ever after.
Yeah, she didn't learn anything in that way.
There's no resolve in that aspect. Yeah,
like I think part of it, like part of like the story was almost like trying to be kind of like a coming of age type affair, and I do get that she did grow and learn things, but she just didn't learn enough.
No, exactly. Like there could be another like 300 pages of lessons. It could be like a 600-page book. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was still a very similar to the person she was at the beginning of the novel.
Yeah, true. Like I feel like the hill's this high and she got like here.
Yeah. Keep going, hon.
The tea shop on the hill, she's like running to work and she only gets halfway. Mark is my boyfriend, if no one knows. He's happily boring, and so am I. We watched the Olympics this morning, we watched F1, and we played Friends Trivial Pursuit. So that's how our life goes.
Oh my god, yes. What a day. Amazing.
No, I'm interested too. But I would go with my boyfriend to like a meeting if I liked that. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sophie just said no so many times. Yeah, she didn't try to get outside of her comfort zone and try and get into the world with Billy, I guess. So then Billy would have got frustrated on that side, because he's clearly like, if you got Billy's perspective, you'd be like, well, why isn't she trying?
Because he was trying to include her at every point.
Yeah, but she was always resisting.
Yeah. Which again is why the ending is annoying, because they're just like,
no, exactly.
You're right. You don't have to make any effort. Billy will just do it all.
Literally, I've been lurking here. This is such a nice little chat. Thanks, Chloe, and hope your live sprints are going good as well. No, you were right. I think I just got really bad on comments because we were like discussing different parts of the book, but it's Falcone. You are correct.
No, I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to.
Have you not?
No.
Oh my god, it's so good. He uses loads of different McFly songs but changes the lyrics to fit into their life, and oh my god, it's so good. It's like 14 minutes long, but it's the most watched wedding speech on YouTube. It has like, last time I checked, it had like 14 million views, and I bet it has more than that now.
Oh my god, that's so cute. Is it them that did?
It's so good.
They're not like a video when she was pregnant, and is he like playing guitar, and then you watch her like grow, and then finally have the baby.
What is that song? Because I used to know the lyrics to that song. Is that really bad? That's really cheesy, isn't it? I used to watch that video so much because that song is so good. Oh no.
Oh no. We're gonna have to find it now.
It's gonna really annoy me now. It's called Bump to Baby. And
Tom Fletcher. You type in Tom Fletcher, the first thing is wedding speech.
Yeah. It's like, it's something about like rainbows and pretty things.
Is it Bump to Buzz?
Yes, that's it.
60 million views.
It's such a good song. He's such a good songwriter.
Oh my God.
Going off on a tangent here, but this chat is all just about the Fletchers, really.
Yeah, pretty much. We love them.
Like, who doesn't love the Fletchers?
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Such a good song. Yeah.
Oh, cute. Oh, imagine being able to keep that forever.
I know. I feel like when I get to that sort of point, it'd be so cool to have a picture every single day of your pregnancy.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, I'm going to do it. I'm not. It's going to be far too much effort.
It will, especially on days when you can't, like, I have days now where I can't bother to film. So, like, when you're pregnant, you must have so many days where you're just like, oh, I can't be bothered to do anything. Yeah. November's going to be good. I'm excited. And we have Chloe as the co-host for November.
So. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. The wedding. 22. Wow. That's impressive.
I'm going to have to watch that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's so good. Especially if you love McFly songs, because you can recognize them all.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's so good. I was kind of estimating that these live shows are probably going to be about an hour, because obviously I'm not like part of my book club is not reading like really like articulated books about like loads of different thoughts and feelings, you know what I mean? So it's like not too much to discuss. So if you have anything else you would like to discuss, talking to you or the comments, leave like questions or topic points in the comments, because I'm not sure where you would like to go. I guess maybe talk about the ending with the shop. Do you think that's the correct ending? Do you think that it could have been written in a different way, obviously apart from like the Billy confrontation and stuff, but like maybe just regarding the shop opening? Because I actually really like that part of the story. I think
I like that.
It was what Molly would have wanted.
And I also think there's nothing wrong with that being like Sophie's perfect life, like being back in her little village working in her tea shop. There's nothing wrong with that. She doesn't have to be this like massive extrovert that goes out and parties all the time. That is a nice little life. So I like that is sort of like made okay, if that makes sense.
No, exactly. Like she tried it. She should have maybe tried it and pushed herself a little bit more outside her comfort zone. But at least she did like dip her toe in the water, and she realized that life isn't for her. So she's come back into her comfort zone, which is absolutely fine. I've done that many a times. Gone out of my comfort zone, realised I don't like it, and I've come back.
I don't like it.
No, not for me.
Which is completely okay.
No, exactly. Like it's like you said.
Oh, and the last line, I forgot how cute it is. Molly once said to grab every opportunity that comes my way. On this occasion, I think I'll take that advice literally. She'd have liked that. That's so nice.
Oh yeah, I tabbed it.
I just like the she'd have liked that. That's the last line. Oh.
Yeah, that's so true. I feel like I should just flick to a random tab and see what I've tabbed up, because I actually can't remember. Because usually if I tab, I'll also write by the tabs, but I didn't do it this time because I didn't have a pencil near me.
Oh yeah. I like that aspect of the ending a lot.
Yeah, I just went to a random tab just for lols, and I actually came to quite a good one. Sophie says, I hate to tell you this, but my life consists of books and baking. Oh God, I can't believe I just admitted to being so boring. And I was like, that is not boring. That is literally my life. Books and baking.
100%. Nothing boring about that.
No, exactly. If everyone is up for that, I'll definitely create a Discord channel for Always with Love, which is, I'll read the blurb in case no one doesn't have a copy and would like to know what it's about. It says, Sophie's got used to being the girlfriend of Billy Buskin, the biggest movie star in the world, sort of. So when she and Billy takes a trip to visit his family in Los Angeles, she quickly discovers she's totally unprepared for the chaos of Hollywood and the paparazzi and Billy's controlling mother. And when Billy extends his stay in LA, leaving Sophie to fly home to Rosefront Hill alone, it seems like more than just miles between them. Now Sophie must decide if they can overcome their differences for good, because not all love stories end with a happily ever after.
It sounds like a very similar synopsis to the first one, in which the mum is going to be the Paul.
And Sophie is once again being dragged out of her comfort zone by flying to LA and being left to her own devices while Billy is being swept away in the...
I'm so confused then, because that totally questions the ending of the first book.
Maybe you should read it.
Maybe I'll have to.
I'm sure it's on Kindle for really cheap.
Oh, okay, I could do that.
Who knows? But yeah, I'll set up a channel so anyone who does want to read the sequel and can discuss that. Maybe I'll join along, because I haven't, like I said, I have never reread the sequel, so I think it'll be interesting. I laughed one time so hard I didn't understand what I flipped in the birdie meant on I googled it and I was like, oh yeah, I would have done that too. Annoying photographer. Yeah, the flip of the birdie. I would have done
worse than that photographer.
I would have gone like this.
Yeah. Literally.
So I learned a little more. That's always good. I wish I could read in different languages and learn phrases and sayings and stuff. I'm not that intelligent, so I praise you.
Neither am I. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I guess that's like the novella. So it could, maybe on Goodreads it might be noted as 1.5, you know, and sometimes, and then Always with Love is number 2, possibly. So maybe check Goodreads if you're unsure on the order of how to read them, because there's a novella as well. So yeah, because I remember when I met, because all my books from G are signed, if you would like to see. Wait, that doesn't show they're signed.
I was like, where is it?
There you go.
Aww.
Because I met her with Paige Toon and Lindsay Kelk.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I got her to sign all my books. I brought all 6 of them. I think I have 6. Because I have 2 versions of Billy and Me. The one I want, Always with Love, and Some Kind of Wonderful. Or maybe it's 5. Anyway, I brought all the books I owned by her. And I was like, please may you sign them all because I love you, like my favorite author. And I wrote her a letter. I wrote her a letter like ages ago before I even like knew I was going to meet her. And then when I found out that I got tickets, I was like, I'll just print it off and give it to her.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I was like, just wanted to let you know, like, you got me into reading, and like, if it wasn't for Billy and Me and stuff, like, I may not be like the reader I am today, sort of thing. Like, you made me love contemporary and stuff. But like, when I went, because the like book signing book talk was like really small. It was like really local to me. Like, they were doing really random stops. They weren't doing like Piccadilly Waterstones and stuff. They're doing like really small, intimate ones. Mm-hmm. So no one had put their hand up when the Q&A section started, and I was like, I'm so like in my shell because I went by myself, so I was like really scared. But I was like, right, I just need to do this. So I put my hand up, and I was the only one. I started off like the questions basically because no one else wanted to, and I put my hand up, and I was like, this is for G. Do you think Billy and Me, or like Billy and Sophie is like come to an end, or do you think there's more? And she goes, there's always more with Billy and Sophie. So whether she has ideas to write more books, because it would be really interesting to see where she took their story now that she's a more developed writer. But that was like 4 years ago, so maybe not, because she's taken such a big break with writing, and her newest release is obviously like a brand new standalone. So yeah, I don't know whether Billy and Sophie will ever get revisited, but it would be interesting if she did one day.
Yeah, we see what she'd do with it now.
Yeah, exactly. That was a really long tangent just to get to the point that there could be more Billy and Sophie stories, but fun. I must say, although the ending was a bit like she didn't learn anything, it's also nice for the story to have a happy ending. Yeah, I get that. I think it was tied up nicely. It's tied in a nice little neat little bow. There could have obviously been more criticism. There could have been more deep dive, I guess, into what actually, like, what am I trying to say? There could have been a deep dive more into like the actions and stuff between the romance, the 2 characters, of like what actually happened, like we've discussed. But it does wrap up really nicely.
Yeah,
it might have been a bit rushed with Molly, but I think that was intentional because Molly didn't want anyone to know, because Molly has always been such a strong, like, independent since her husband died.
Yeah.
So she's always been like the individual that's always just done everything by herself. So the fact that she kept this kind of really big thing to herself, I felt suited her character.
Yeah, I actually felt her like reconciliation with Billy was more rushed than like Molly's storyline was. I don't think I really thought it was that rushed, because like you said, I understood that it was because she'd been keeping it to herself the whole time, and that made complete sense. It was more like, I'm pretty sure, because like when we were reading that last page there now, you literally go back 1 page and it's him coming back and consoling her while she's in front of the TV. Like, that's very quick.
Oh, really?
For, like, it's that, and then it's finished. But then maybe that was
Sophie, I'm so sorry. Is it like a page before?
Literally the page before. But then maybe she'd always planned to write more, so maybe she knew she was gonna
maybe this was meant to be like her version of like you can read it by yourself, but if you want more, there's a sequel coming.
Yeah,
possibly. I read them all a while ago from what I remember. The Christmas Event did come before the sequel. Okay. I appreciate the insight, because I'm such a big fan, but I don't know which came first. So I appreciate that. It was my first ever book event, and it's been my only ever book event, and I went by myself. It's such like a character building thing, though, because you're around like-minded people. Like, everyone there loved Lindsay, loved Paige, loved G. So like, you had something in common. Like, which books have you read? Like, which ones haven't you read? And that was my first time. It was my first. So I only went for G. It just happened that Paige Toon and Lindsay Kelk were also there. And I was like, hey, I might find some new authors that I like. which I did, because
Which
if
you
you know,
did.
I love Lindsay Kelk's I Heart New York. Yay. That was because they also got onto because it was Billy and Me was obviously G's debut. I Heart New York is also Lindsay's debut. And out of the two, I do think I Heart New York is written better than Billy and Me in like a debut sense.
Okay.
Which might be quite controversial, seeing as G's not my favourite author. But so is Lindsay, so it's hard. Yeah, and they were on this like topics of like debut novels and stuff. And Lindsay started like passionately talking about how she moved to New York and like basically. And have you read I Heart New York yet?
No, I
haven't read it yet. I didn't know if you read it for whatever on or not, but
I was gonna. No, I didn't.
Didn't happen. No worries. But it's basically just about the Angela who moves to New York, having lived in like quaint English town sort of thing. And Lindsay was talking so passionately about it because that's what happened to her. So obviously it's once again it's a similar sort of written off own experiences, but then the story takes hold by itself. And she was talking so passionately about it. I was like, I need to read everything Lindsay Kelk's ever written. And obviously I started with I Heart New York because it was her debut and fell in love with it. And then I haven't read as many Page Tune books, but I have read probably 4 or 5 of them. And she is also a brilliant contemporary writer. So I did discover 2 authors. I didn't make any friends, but I discovered 2 new authors that I now love. So it wasn't a bad day's work. And I got all my books signed. So I can't complain.
It's a good day's work.
No, exactly. I found it very smart of the interviewer to go to work with Molly just to hear all the gossip there. Yeah. I think this book would have really benefited with dual perspectives.
Yes, I agree.
So you could get like the Rose Hill point of view as well as like the London point of view at the same time, like parallel timelines.
I think it would have been good as well. I think I always now just prefer in contemporaries, like contemporary romance, to get both sides of the relationship. Like I always prefer, like all the books that I've rated higher are always the ones where you get both perspectives, because I love to see, especially if there's miscommunication, I like to see what each one is thinking and how each one is reading the other. So I think this one would have really worked with that. And then you could also have had bits of Molly as well, talking about like
I would have loved Molly's perspective. Like I said, I could easily have like just in like even like a novella of like how she started the tea shop and
I would love that.
That would have been so sweet. And like her son in Australia, like why did he go? Because I think that would have been a really in-depth discussion as well of why he went and like what their relationship was. I wanted to know more
about him. I thought he could have been quite an interesting character.
Yeah. And like on that point, because it's obviously he went over to Australia, I am reading All the Lonely People this month.
Are you?
Yeah, it managed to get onto my TBR. My August TBR was not what I was expecting.
Oh,
those
really?
prompts just threw me. Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm reading these, but I didn't expect any of them.
Usually when you're doing your TBR game, like obviously you don't know what prompts are going to come up, but then you kind of have an idea of what books you really want to fit into the prompts. But then sometimes you get a prompt and you're like, well, none of my like pre-selected books fit this prompt. So
2 of my prompts were out of my control. It was highest rated on, and so I did it out of my physical TBR off of what Goodreads ratings were. And then I have a prompt that I've never had before, and it was Goodreads feed, where I literally have to go onto my home feed of Goodreads, and the first book I recognize I have to read.
Oh my god, those are hard. Literally,
so like no, even if I want to like mood read during the month, and sometimes I switch out the prompts to like still fit the prompts, but to different books. I can't do that with like 2 of the books this month because like that was the book I saw first, and that was my highest rated. So I'm just like, it was a very like it just threw me through a hoop this month. I was like, I wasn't expecting these books to be on my TBR, but to be honest, that's what I love about TBR games though, because I wouldn't have picked up 2 of the books I got if it wasn't for the TBR prompts I got this month. I probably wouldn't pick them up for like another year. So I like that. No, it is good. But do you have anything else to discuss regarding Billy and Me? Because I think we've discussed most of the interesting points, I would say.
I think we've had a very good discussion.
I do, and I just have to do them public in future, don't I? Everyone started to come along once it was public. Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I'll do that.
I don't know how unlisted works. I know people do it for like Patreon sprints and stuff like that, but I don't know.
I have no idea. I might have to ask someone who has a Patreon how to do it. Anyone here? Leandra came. So I just think because people just expect like lives to be on your subscription, like home feed. Oh,
Yeah.
they're live now, sort of thing,
Yeah.
rather than having to click
And
a
especially
link.
because you get a notification as well.
Yeah. True, yeah. So yeah, I'll just do it live next time. It's all public. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And then I'll keep it up for like a week and then I'll get rid of it.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think we should wrap it up because I don't want to obviously just ramble about stuff we've already discussed because I feel like it's not much productive time.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you had already off your voice, maybe. Oh my God, don't.
Oh my God, imagine.
Not gonna lie, my highest rated was The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon, which is the 4th book in the Bone season. But I still haven't finished my reread of the series so far. So I did jump that one because I wanted to reread the song. Right? No, because I've reread the first 2, so it'd only be adding like the 3rd one to read The Mask Falling. But I have no I'm not drawn to any books apart from contemporaries at the minute, or like not even.
Rachel, oh, okay, this is really awkward. Rachel, come back. Okay, I'm just gonna message her. Rachel, what do I do? This is fun. I can't even end the live because Rachel has control of it. And I don't know if I should leave or if I should wait for her to come back. Is anyone still watching? Where is she?
Can you guys hear me?
There you are. Oh my God.
Google Chrome just quit on me. It wasn't even.
Wait, you're frozen.
Oh no.
Oh wait, no, you're back.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Am I back?
Oh, I don't know if you are or not. You're kind of in and out.
Oh, so are you. I don't know if it's me or just my.
Oh,
We're going to wrap it up anyway, so it's not going to.
Yeah, okay, I'll just let you speak and wrap it up.
Okay, let me try something.
Okay.
But I don't know. See if this. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
No. Okay, because I'm trying to go to my personal hotspot just for the last. Oh, is that better? Okay. I'm connected to my personal hotspot now.
I think it's a bit better.
Because you were jumpy for me, so then whether it's just. Yeah, okay. So because clearly internet is not on my side tonight, I'm just going to jump through the last bits of the comments. If India can't hear me, I hope you guys can.
I can hear you. You're just a bit laggy.
Oh, okay. No worries. But I'll wrap it up anyway because everyone's just... I just don't want to stress anyone out with not being able to hear what I'm saying and stuff. And we have kind of discussed most of the book anyway. Yeah. So thank you so much all for joining me and discussing my first ever book club book pick for the month of July. Thank you so much, India, for co-hosting with me and reading the book along and coming to the discussion. I really, really appreciate it. I couldn't have done it by myself. So thanks. I really appreciate it.
Being the first
first ever one. I had to ask you, of course. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the Discord channel. I'll make a new one for the sequel just for anyone who wanted to read the sequel. Just as a shout out, my book club pick for August, which is happening now, is The Half-Baked Idea by Olivia Potts, which is a non-fiction memoir. We're doing alternate non-fiction picks. The co-host is M from A Little Writer M, and the live show has already been sorted because we're both away in August, so we're trying to have to balance it, and that'll be the 22nd of August, so you have like 3 weeks to read the book if you so wish. But no Now, you don't have to read every single month's book if you don't want to. Just pick and choose which books sound interesting, and then there'll be a live show at the end of the month. So, of course, thank you so much for always supporting. So I really, really appreciate it. But thank you so much, guys, for joining, and I'll see you next month for another book club live show. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.